Welcome to a brand new series where I take any animal from the Jurassic franchise and compare it to its real life counterpart and show what was gotten wrong in the movies. Full disclaimer, this does not mean I dislike the Jurassic franchise. It's actually one of my most favorite franchises out there. I think that this is just a great opportunity to teach the general public about how these animals really were, because I think this is one of the best ways to learn about it. Let's start with the big one, Dilophosaurus. Now, if any of you have seen some of my previous videos, you'll know that I've mentioned that this was basically never accurate from the get-go. A lot of the dinosaur designs were accurate for the time for the Jurassic franchise. However, Dilophosaurus was not. Let's begin with the big ones. There was no evidence of a frill, and there is no evidence that it was able to spit venom at its prey. Its wrists are also pronated, meaning that it's facing downwards instead of inwards, making a clapping motion. If it tried to do this, it would break its arms. And of course, it is way too small. This is more like what I thought it was. Now let's talk about some of the thematic reasons as to why the Dilophosaurus is the way that it is. First of all, one of the biggest themes about this movie and the original novel is chaos, and the fact that these people are unable to predict what they're actually creating before they go out and create it. Because here you have something that they created in a lab and is actually far more deadly than they could have ever predicted. And before they fully understood it, they placed it in a cage and were getting ready to have the viewing public look at it. That's actually touched on a lot more in the novel, because obviously novels can be a lot more descriptive, but it is still shown in Jurassic Park, with Nedry, of course, succumbing to the Dilophosaurus. As far as the size goes, I'm not sure why they made it so small. It could just simply be technical limitations. Because I'm sure, as most of you know, the Dilophosaurus was a lot more accurate to its real life size in the novel. Again, I don't know the reason why it was made smaller. Again, I know that movies do have budgets, and maybe it was done to keep themselves under budget. I mean, as a child, I always assumed that it was a young Dilophosaurus, especially when Nedry said, "Oh, I thought that you were one of your bigger brothers." But then Dominion and Camp Cretaceous came around, and it was literally the exact same size, so I don't know. Now, here's a topic that is talked about a lot with Dilophosaurus, and it is really kind of controversial. Did it have feathers? To be completely fair, there is no direct evidence that Dilophosaurus had feathers. Now, there has been evidence of a theropod dinosaur that has rested on like a shore or something like that and left behind imprints of feathers, but it is up for debate on whether or not this was actually Dilophosaurus. It could be another theropod of similar size. Either way, still cool to think about.